vulnerable, thanking our listeners on the 96.1 FM dial and also persons tuning in via our website at rootsfmjamaica.com. I'm Owen Brown.
I am Marcia Williams.
Stand by for the news in detail. President of the People's National Party Youth Organization, Senator Gabriel Morris, is calling for the resignation of Rosalie Gage Gray, the top boss of the Child Protection and Family Services Agency CPFSA, as the Public Service Commission looks into allegations of gross breach of care against her. Morris's demands follows the damning findings of an investigation which was carried out by the Office of the Children's Advocate OCA after reports surfaced in 2021 that the agency associated itself with Karl Rabonsky, who has been accused of inappropriate interactions with a minor. Morris stated that the actions of the head of the CPFSA indicate that she has failed in her administrative and moral duty to the wards of the state. The opposition senator said what transpired at the CPFSA reeks of recklessness and should concern all well-thinking Jamaicans. It is alarming that the head of the CPFSA, who has a mandate to lead the agency charged with safeguarding children, admitted knowledge of Mr. Rabonsky's nefarious antecedents since 2018, yet still allowed him to have interaction with former wards of the state, the senator said. She further opined that the actions of Gage Gray and other members of the agency who are involved have cast a shadow of doubt on the CPFSA's ability to protect children in state care. As a result, Morris is calling on Education Minister Favour Williams to conduct a thorough audit of the CPFSA and all other facilities that are charged with the care of wards of the state to ensure that the protocols that govern their work are followed. Meanwhile, the acting permanent secretary in the Ministry of Education, Marlene Dwyer, said there has been no indication from the CPFSA boss, Rosalie Gage Gray, that she will be stepping aside to facilitate investigations. Mrs. Dwyer said that she's not aware of that. She has not aware that she has resigned. However, there is a process for that kind of action. Education Minister Favour Williams on Tuesday urged Gage Gray, following the Office of the Children's Advocate report, for her to step aside while Dwyer and the Public Service Commission scrutinize her leadership of the agency. The report accused Gage Gray of a gross breach of care for engaging Karl Rabonsky through the agency tasked with caring for and protecting the nation's children. Special needs children in Santa Cruz and surrounding areas in St. Elizabeth are to benefit from the establishment of a special education center. The undertaking is being facilitated through a partnership between the Ministry of Education and Youth and the Digital Foundation for the renovation of the Santa Cruz Basic School to house the facility. The building will be refurbished to accommodate 3 classrooms, principal and administrative offices, an assessment room, a kitchen, a storeroom, students and staff bathrooms, and ramped access. The ministry will provide furniture, staffing, additional sponsorship for an agriculture area on site, and any other items that may be necessary for the project. Addressing the signing ceremony at the ministry's National Hero Circle office on Tuesday, Portfolio Minister Favour Williams expressed gratitude for the partnership, noting that the government remains committed to ensuring that no child is left behind. A 15-year-old girl who reportedly befriended an 18-year-old mother on the social media platform TikTok is now in custody as the prime suspect in the abduction of a 3-month-old baby on Tuesday in Horizon Park, Spanish Town. The suspected abductor was held some 114 miles away on Wednesday afternoon in Cambridge, St. James, after it was reported that Rashane Hall was stolen. The child remains in state care and is being medically examined. The child's mother, Kenisha Hamilton, on Wednesday had pleaded for her former friend of 4 weeks to return her child safely. The Cambridge police labeled the suspect as a troubled teen who frequently runs away from her own home and ends up in the parish of St. Catherine, where she was living at one point. Reports are that the infant was stolen from her mother at Horizon Park in St. Catherine shortly after 5 p.m. on Tuesday. It is further reported that shortly after 11 a.m. on Wednesday, a 42-year-old carpenter and his 20-year-old son, who lives in the neighboring St. James community, to the suspect, saw a photo of the missing child on social media and recalled seeing the teenage girl with a child fitting the description. The men then carried out their own investigation and held onto the teen and took her to the Cambridge police station, where they made a report. When questioned, the accused reportedly told the police that she had recently given birth to the child while in St. Catherine and had just returned home. She reportedly confessed to the police that she had stolen the baby on Tuesday. She was taken into police custody and the child was taken to a medical facility for examination. A bail application is to be made in the Home Circuit Court on April 24 for the man who is charged with cutting the throat of a woman during an alleged ritual at the Pathways International Kingdom Restoration Ministries in St. James. Andre Ruddock is charged with the October 2021 murder of 39-year-old Tamika Gardner during an alleged sacrificial ritual at the church. A plea and case management conference was scheduled for today. However, it was unable to proceed due to the unavailability of a court reporter. Lead lawyer in the matter, Anthony Williams, however, informed the court that he intends to make a bail application on the next occasion. Detectives assigned to the Firearms Trafficking Task Force of the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime Investigation Branch, CTOC, has named Roderick Davis as wanted. Davis was charged with illegal importation of ammunition. However, he absconded bail. The police said that he frequents the Meadowbrook and Seaview Gardens area in St. Andrew and McCook's Pen in St. Catherine. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Roderick Davis is asked to call CTOC at 876-967-1389, Crime Stop at 311, 119 Police Emergency Number, or the nearest police station. And for news further afield for our regional story, we join this report.
As of this week, all 11.5 million people living in Haiti no longer have an elected official representing them. The country's last remaining senators completed their terms in office Tuesday. All that remains is an unelected prime minister who has been unable to stop the rampant gang activity that rules the nation. But the general election to replace the rule of the gun with the rule of law have stalled for more than 3 years.
There's been turmoil there for years, and in fact, these were just 10 members of the Senate. That was 30 members, and we already did not have a House, and the President Jovenel Moise, who was assassinated on the 7th of July, 2021, at the time of his death, he was ruling by decree. So this is a country where we have seen that it's been degenerating now.
And for news further afield internationally, we join Jeffery Tavares.
To launch investigation, GOP to launch investigation into classified documents found at President Biden's old office.
There were about 10 documents that lawyers for Biden discovered, and that day they called the National Archives. The next day they were turned over, but still lots of questions surrounding what was in these documents. What was the level of classification? What markings did these documents have? Did they have to do with foreign countries? How did they get there in the first place? These are all questions that DOJ has been asking and investigating, if you will, as they've conducted this review that started in November. Now, of course, Biden has said that he doesn't know what was in those documents. His lawyers have advised him not to ask. This was handled after the fact, right? If we are to take what the White House says at face value here, they notified the federal investigators. They notified the archives immediately. The difference here is how Trump handled this after the fact. There was months of back and forth between Trump's lawyers and the National Archives and the Department of Justice asking for these documents back. And Trump...
I am Jeffery Tavares for Roots FM News.
Stories making city news. Stand by for the weather report with Marcy Williams.
Weather report, and I'm Marcy Williams. There's a trough across Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain across the island for the next few days. Expect cooler conditions, especially across northern parishes, as a frontal system moves across the island on Saturday afternoon into Sunday. This afternoon will be partly cloudy with possible isolated showers across the areas. Tonight will become fair and partly cloudy across northern parishes. The maximum temperature in Kingston today is 31 degrees Celsius. Tomorrow will be having possible morning showers across section of northern parishes and otherwise partly cloudy, and also be having afternoon isolated showers across eastern and central parishes and nighttime cloudy conditions across north, central and eastern parishes. And regionally, there's a high pressure ridge across the Gulf of Mexico. And that was the weather report. Please stand by for Sports Think with Dudley Thompson.
It is now time for Sports Link on Roots and 6.1 FM.
Hello dear sports fans, I'm Dudley Thompson and welcome to Sports Link. And we start with news on football. France Football Federation President Noel Lagarde has agreed to step down from his duties yesterday following an emergency meeting by the executive committee concerning sexual misconduct claimed against him. The 81-year-old Lagarde has faced claims of sexual harassment, and the Football Federation is target of investigation ordered by the Sports Minister Amel Ode-Castillo. The Federation said in a statement that yesterday that Lagarde agreed to step down from his role until the Executive Committee fully review the audit findings. That is expected to be end of January. Until then, he will be replaced in the interim by Federation Vice President Philippe Diallo. On Tuesday, sports agent Sonia Solid accused Lagarde of improper conduct over several years, saying he only was interested in her sexually. Solid said that the interview with La Inquirer Sport told that he repeatedly tried to report her between 2017 and 2013. Ode-Castillo piled yet another pressure on Lagarde on Monday, accusing him of damaging the image of the country. Patrick Anton, head of the French Football Federation Ethics Council, issued a statement on Tuesday urging Lagarde to leave the post. French League President Vincent Labour attended yesterday's meeting, and a handful of protesters outside held a placard against Lagarde. Reggae Girls will kick off their Group Cup of Nations tournament in Australia on February 16th against Spain. The 3 days later, the tournament will shift to Sydney as Jamaica and Czech Republic will go head-to-head in Combank Stadium in Parramatta, following a blockbuster clash between Combank Matildas and Spain. Match day 2 on Sunday, day 19th of February. Newcastle's McDonald Jones Stadium will play host to match day 3 of the Cup of Nations on Wednesday, when Czech Republic will take on Spain, and the Combank Matildas will meet Jamaica, the last game of the competition. The highest placed nation followed the competition of the 3-day tournament will be crowned the Cup winners for 2022 on February 22nd in Newcastle. Jamaica Football Federation President Michael Ricketts believed that the tournament is an excellent preparation for the FIFA World Cup for Jamaica. Australia will compete in Group B at the FIFA Women's World Cup against New Zealand, alongside Republic of Ireland, Nigeria and Canada, while Spain will contest Group C alongside Costa Rica, Zambia, Japan. Meanwhile, Jamaica will play host at Group F against France. Brazil Group C playoff winner will be contested between February. Also, Czech Republic will host not qualify for the tournament. Now on to news and netball. The Sunshine Girls suffered a 73-52 thrashing by England very Vitality Roses in the first of 3 tests against Manchester, England yesterday. Francis was without experienced defender Latoya Wilson and Adele Thunder's outfit teammate Shamara Sterling, who both play in the Australian Super Netball League. The Sunshine Girls was also without Adrian Thomas and will try to blend the remaining established players with the new faces. Sunshine Girls suffered a 73-52 thrashing by England Vitality Roses in the first of that series. The Sunshine Girls let their early 9-goal lead step away as they led 19-13 at the end of the first quarter and 34-31 at the halftime. The girls in yellow, black, and green extended their lead in 23-14 before England regularly found more space approaching the target and hauled the deficit. Sunshine Girls leading by the half. England then leveled the score at 37 apiece. The Roses attacked and then Harley Husby and Jatan edged them out again to win the game 72-53. Sunshine Girls went down in their first encounter against England Roses. On that note, we come now to the end of Sports Link for today.
And for a recap of our top stories, President of the People's National Party Youth Organization PNPYO, Senator Gabriel Morrison is calling for the resignation of Rosalie Gage Gray, the top boss of the CPFSA, as the Public Service Commission looks into allegations of gross breach of care against her. Meanwhile, special needs children in Santa Cruz and surrounding areas in St. Elizabeth are to benefit from the establishment of a special education center. And a 15-year-old girl who reportedly befriended an 18-year-old mother on social media platform TikTok is now in police custody as the prime suspect in the abduction of a 3-month-old baby on Tuesday in Horizon Park, Spanish Town. The news today was brought to you by our parent company, the Mustard Seed Communities, caring for the most vulnerable. Thanking our listeners on the 96.1 FM, and also persons tuning in via our website at Roots FM Jamaica. I'm Owen Brown.
I am Marcia Williams.
And I'm Dudley Thompson.
On behalf of the entire team, have a wonderful afternoon. Stand by for City Beat.